Hi Scorpio, welcome back to those of you who are already part of our community here, and welcome to those of you who are new. For those of you who are new, my name is Jackie. Welcome, and I post weekly messages for each of the astrological archetypes. I combine tarot with astrology, numerology, and psychology. I do recommend checking out your rising sign first, then sun sign, then moon. If you have some extra time, definitely check out your Venus placement as well. If you're not sure of your placements, but you know what time you were born, you can check out any of the free birth chart calculators online. There are a bunch of them. And I recommend this for the most holistic and complete understanding of your energies. Really, right? So remember, these are general messages. So for the astrological archetype, not a personal reading, right? I would have to know your personal birth placements to understand how the current transits are communicating with your individual energies for that. So I always suggest take what resonates, throw out the rest. If we don't get to this time, maybe we will next time, okay? So I'm going to start by pulling some oracles. We'll see what the oracles have for us here. Then I'm going to go into a general Celtic cross spread for everyone. Then I'm going to go into 3 different versions of a relationship read. First, I'll start with singles, then coupled, and then those of you who are in a complicated situation. All of the timestamps are going to be in the description box below the video. That's different than in the comment section, okay? It's just easier for me to put them in the description box. I hope that's okay. Alrighty, so let's get in. Say no, time to go. Hello. Say no, time to go. Making a little rhyme here. Scorpio friends. Scorpio, I just feel like, I don't know why I'm being called to go to this first, but I feel like something stressful is happening in the home, having to do with either father, parent, the idea of parenting. Right? I mean, I know I feel that because you have Saturn in your 4th and it's opposing Mars and Venus in Leo in your 10th. I mean, I know, but I feel like that's sort of like a dominant energy for somebody where it's coming through right now. Some sort of situation is going on at home that's really difficult. Could have to do with a parent, doesn't have to, but Saturn is father as well, right? It's one of the father energies. Depending on the situation, sometimes the sun represents father as well. I feel like that. But anyway, the stars of the week really is about the new moon in Cancer, which is happening in your 9th house of belief system, of your ability to, that's the house of negotiation, in-laws. What else goes on there? Higher education, moral code, moral compass. It's also the house of laws and legal situations. It's the higher courts. So any sort of lawsuit that you might have going on, anything like that, there's going to be a lot of focus here, right? But with the moon in there, the moon, first of all, you can be feeling very, very intuitive, super intuitive, and very, there's a gentleness, right, about the Cancer energy, but you're going to have a lot of focus. In the 9th house, it means that your communication is going to be a little more first of all, you're going to be very you guys are so intuitive to begin with, right? I mean, for goodness sake, investigators of the zodiac. But it's you're going to be able to see through people even quicker. You're going to be feeling a lot of things about communication that's going on right now, having to do with anything that's being negotiated in your life that you might not be fully disclosing to anybody, but it does seem like there's a lot of change. Something having to do with change in the mode of communication is going to be coming in. So something's going to be coming in that 3rd house energy. So there also might be some change going on with extended family or your siblings. There can be some change having to do with where it is that you live, or something to do with the way that you're communicating. Right? So that's the energy of this new moon, right? Between the 9th house and it's sort of sitting in opposition of that 3rd house axis. And also, I do want to mention, Chiron is going retrograde. We love this. It's going to be going retrograde on the 15th all the way through December in your 6th house of health, mental, physical, and emotional health. Also your day-to-day work environment, just your day-to-day experience, even your pets. So if your pets have been having a struggle, really good there. But I feel like you're going to sort of be in this space between now and December of healing something, right? Because you've been going through a lot of change right? Internally, where you've been trying to make sure, like internally, that your emotional needs are being met, what's fair, what's not fair. And you've been processing a lot of this idea of fair, not fair, because Libra's transiting your 12th house of the subconscious mind. So when it sits in this opposition, right, with the 6th house energy in Aries, it's really wanting something to be more fair, you know, in your life of what's going on. And it is sextiling that 4th house. So I must feel like you might be going through something in your home that's challenging, but it's going to end up, you're going to have a very healing experience by the end of December having to do with this situation. Especially if you have anything to negotiate. I'm sorry I'm throwing all these messages in, but I just don't want to forget to tell you guys, your 8th house of endings and beginnings, how you show up as a we in relationship, inheritance, insurance payouts, the buying or selling of a property, stock market, right? All of this is the 8th house. You have Gemini in there with Mercury in the North Node. That's where some sort of gift is going to be coming into you. So this can look like the finalization of a lawsuit in your favor, or more specifically, your partner, right? Because the 8th house is your partner. It will be your partner's money. So something happening in a very positive way that's very karmic, very destiny driven to happen with your partner. So those are the main things that I wanted to just throw out there at you. But your intuition is going to be popping when it comes to all modes of communication and negotiation, as well as your belief system, right? High intuition. So we have say no, we have time to go, and we have clarified by take off your mask. I mean, those are pretty profound, huh? Say no, it's time to go from something, that job situation, that family situation, that relationship situation, whatever it is, and it's time to say, listen, I've been playing it nice up to this point, I'm not doing it anymore. You know, and it's time for you to really get in touch with being a more authentic version of yourself. So maybe it's time to say no and time to go from negative mindset, any sort of self-sabotaging behaviors, saying no to that part of your life that's not working, and really getting in touch with what it is that you feel can bring you to that next level, whatever that is for you. We have shine your light, thinker, and dreams. So when we have thinker and dreams together, what are you really wanting to do when you close your mind, when you close your eyes? What are you feeling in your mind's eye about what it is that you want to do? Because I feel like this whole middle row is stop doing what it is that doesn't make you feel fulfilled, happy, satisfied, whatever it is, and really allow your imagination to sort of do its thing. And I feel like because on the 6th and the 12th house axis, because you're going to have Chiron there, and it's about the Chiron retrograde again is so healing. I just feel like there's going to be a lot of healing that's going to be going on, and you're going to be able to transition yourself into some sort of experience in your day-to-day that's just going to ultimately bring you to a space where you're just going to be so happy that the past is in your rearview mirror, and you're going to be able to experience new things. This is not going to be an easy energy for you, though, Scorpio. I don't want to allow you guys to fix water. So you're going to be experiencing this T-square energy, the energy that I was talking about between the 4th, 10th, and the 7th house energies through December. Everything is very good on the other side of it, but it's going to be a bitch while you're going through it. Just saying. That's not to be negative. That's just to be like, hang in there, right? Whatever's happening, it's meant to happen exactly like this. Keep your eyes open and try not to be too reactive at any point. Respond, yeah, but not too reactive. Make necessary sacrifices, which can mean maybe, you know, for the moment, understand building blocks. By the way, this is something that no one's really talking about, and I don't know why I haven't been up to this point. This year is all about building blocks. It really is. It's about first we have to do this, then that, then that. So if you think you could just get into anything, this is for all the energies. If you think you just get into anything straight out of the gate and blow it out of the park, no. Right? The energy really is about first we do this, then we do this, then we do that. It can be very frustrating, right? But that's what it's about. Everything is happening in a very sort of karmic way, incrementally. So part of that next step might be that you may need to make some sort of sacrifice We have round and round, and we have inner child. So really have to, I mean, I'm just seeing here, you really have to figure out, where do you get in your own way when it comes to certain patterns of behavior, any sort of obsessiveness. The round and round, that's indicative of cycles. You guys are the landlord of the 8th house of cycles, right? So where, might you ruminate too much? Where might be you struggling with too much anxiety, going over things over and over in your head? Where might you be returning to jobs, returning to toxic types of relationships, allowing things to go on in your life, allowing patterns that don't ultimately level you up in your life? Where do you allow those to always sort of somehow, some way circle back around, right? It might be like, that same song, different tune kind of thing. Or is it the other way around? But you guys know what I mean. So it really is about that, right? With the inner child. The inner child is always about that scared, vulnerable part of us. The part of us that none of us ever want to look at. But recognizing that that's the very space that we need to be shining a light so that we could get out of our own way and manifest, truly manifest what it is that we want in our life. Because you can't truly manifest if you allow these blocks to remain standing. You just can't do it. And it takes a hell of a lot more than just saying, I want this, or I am in that space. You can't just do that. You really have to get very deep with yourself and figure out, if I want that, why is that not in my energy up to this point? What do I need to look at as far as the trajectory of my life path? Where have things not gone right? And why? And just understanding that, a lot of times just calling that out and recognizing that. Whether it's going after jobs that you're worth a hell of a lot more than what you're going after. You have more talents, gifts, and abilities than you're putting on the table, but maybe vulnerability or insecurity is holding you back. Why do you keep getting yourself involved with people who are just the toxic relationships, whether it's friends, whether it's intimate? Allowing toxic family connections to stay alive and well instead of loving them from a distance. Really looking at all of these things. Really looking at all of these things right now. Okay, so let's go into the Celtic cross spread first. We're going to apply this to anything from business, family, relationship, maybe your kids. We'll see what comes up. Magician is you. Very nice. You're having a hard time having some sort of, it looks like for many of you, a very important conversation, because that's your block. Okay. All right, Scorpio, don't be mad at me. I'm not throwing shade at anyone ever, okay? But you really do need to look at, where might you end up saying, well, this isn't working out because of that, and that. Where are you maybe making some excuses? I know that's not, a lot of you are not going to want to hear that. Where are you allowing yourself to stay in things that aren't working for you? Because that's the suggested approach, is to really look at that. Okay, so let's take a look at the past here. We have the Queen of Wands, and you're totally in the space of wanting to step into your power. Ideas popping, you feeling really strong. You have a lot of hunger. There's definitely a lot of energy, right? In your energy that I'm feeling. Like, come on, let's go. Lots of passion, a lot of will, a lot of motivation, a lot of let's move forward kind of thing. So we have you right now, the Magician. You just want to make that happen. So you want to have the important conversations that you need to deepen some sort of connection, to figure out the family situation, to take care of whatever it is to take care of, right? Because this is Mercury. Mercury rules Gemini, conversation, Virgo, problem solving, right? So it's about being able to crystallize something. And whatever it is, it's new, right? So some of you having to do with career or money, a new beginning, a new direction maybe in career. This could also indicate inspired leadership from somebody who's really solid and practical, and they're able to problem solve, right? That's where that Mercury connected to Virgo comes in. So for a lot of you, it's going to be that. For some of you, if it has to do with relationship, deepening, and any friendship, family, intimate, marital, doesn't matter, deepening of communication. So that you can you're able to actually resolve things through a deeper understanding of each other's needs. Others of you, Scorpio, you may be in the space where you're selling a house. You made the decision to move on to a different space for an improved life. Some of you just might be making improvements to your home. That's where you're at right now. The challenge is the Two of Cups. So Two of Cups is a very mutually supportive energy. It's a mutually supportive relationship. And this is your challenge. So you may be having a hard time having because this always comes up as an important conversation, particularly if it has to do with work. It's like, you need to have that important conversation, but you're really scared to, A, or B, you don't feel like it's going to be positively received, right? This is a positive proposal coming in maybe that you're waiting for. So some of you might be like, all right, I'm ready for a relationship. I'm ready for that new job. I'm ready for that new, but the offer is not coming in. There might even be an energy lingering around, but it's like you're waiting for that proposal, that suggestion, that offer to come in. For others of you, you might just be in this space of challenge right now in relationship and something to do with work, right? Where things are difficult and it's you want the harmony to return. You want to be able to nurture something into a better space, into an elevated space, but it's just not coming in. That level of support is just not coming in. Yeah. So let's look at the basis and the current situation together. So the basis is the Three of Pentacles. You really just want to grow, right? Three of Pentacles is Mars and Capricorn energy. This is a card of success, collaborating, right? You doing what you consider to be rewarding work. You doing something that you consider something that really allows you to do what makes you feel like you shine, right? Where your talents shine. So this could have to do with the successful launch of something. Some of you, you're literally selling your home or you're doing these home improvements. This is kind of working with this. But yeah, I mean, like this is where you're at right now. You're at this place right now where it's like, I want to be better. I want to collaborate, move on. I see myself moving on more successfully. Okay. And the current situation is the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles, if you're dealing with a person like this, first of all, if this is you're in the space right now where you're trying to make the most of who and what you are and what you have. You might be in the space of trying to make the most of your assets. Okay, if this is all I can afford, this is all I can do. If this is all my skill set is right now, this is what I need to do right now, right? So that could be you. Okay, if you're dealing with somebody else or even just as a general energetic influence, I feel like dealing with people that you might be dealing with, people who on their face seem generous, but you may be dealing with an energy who's actually a little greedy, and greed can have many different faces. If it's not with money, it could also be in the amount of willingness that they're offering to you in the way of, I'm not even going to say support. It could be support, but it could also be their willingness to change. So if you're in a relationship with somebody in either an intimate relationship, a friendship, a family situation, they're not willing to work on issues that you're clearly pointing out that they might need to work on in order for you guys to have a healthier connection. And they're like, you know what, I'll do everything but that. It's the classic, I'll do everything but go to therapy. I'll do everything but look at myself kind of thing. So you might be dealing with somebody, again, either in a relationship, in your family, whatever it is, but it's almost like somebody in your life might be and it can be frustrating for you where they might feel, you might get this energy where it's like they're just not looking at themselves. And you have very little patience for that because you look at everything. Scorpios look at everything, right? It's part of the absolute beauty of Scorpios. My sister-in-law is a Scorpio, and I have to tell you, like, any little thing that needs research, it's like she did it yesterday. And who even know? And I have my doctorate. I'm good at research. She blows me away. It's just unbelievable, right? I mean, all the Scorpios in my life are like that. So it's just very, very interesting energy there. So here we have what I mentioned before at the beginning of the reading. The suggested approach is this Four of Cups energy. So you need to look at this. You need to look at this Moon in Cancer. Moon in Cancer, Moon is your emotions. Cancer is ruled by the Moon. So you really have to look at your emotions right now. And let's look at where the Moon is hanging in your ninth house of belief system and your truth. There's this need right now, Scorpio, for you to be really, really honest with yourself. Are you feeling restless or bored in something? Are you feeling disillusioned about something that's going on in your life right now where you're like, I don't know, is this ever going to change? Is it always going to be like this? Now, some of you in a long-term relationship, you might just need to spice things up a little bit. Could be. For others of you, you want to make sure that you're not projecting all of the challenges in the that are going on in the situation onto somebody else. There does need to be a particular level of accountability to heal some sort of unhealed past issue that might be getting in your way, having to do with you moving forward in whatever part of your life that is the most you have the most focus in right now. And because the sun is focused on your 9th house, it really can be many things, right? You could be very focused on trying to move forward and getting a job, right? You could be very focused on all modes of communication. There could be focus on something going on with your extended family or your in-laws, having to do with your belief system. Again, these are all 9th house things, and this happens to be where this energy is hanging out. So the energy external to you that's surrounding you, or could have to do with somebody else, maybe somebody wants to get married that you're dealing with. The Hierophant, though, is Taurus energy, right? Numerology, it's connected to temperance. So there needs to be some sort of balance here, having to do with balance within your marriage, your committed partnerships, anything that you have a commitment to or in, anything where there is a type of expectation or the need to conform to something. Now, this could be the general energy surrounding you, or this might be the very thing that somebody that you're dealing with needs to focus on, where somebody else needs to focus on expectations, conformity, something traditional, something like that, okay? Somebody else might need to work on needing to temper and balance something having to do with your relationship. So we have the Seven of Wands as your block. So the Seven of Wands is obstacles, right? If this has to do with relationship, things might be a little tricky right now in relationships for you, and you feel like you're in this space where you actually need to fight for something in your relationship. So if it's not fighting for the relationship, there might be this need to fight for something within the relationship for some of you. For others of you, you have just general obstacle, maybe having to do with your employment, something having to do with where you're living, but you have the resilience to overcome whatever it is. If success is in reach, it's right there. But right now, of course, as I've been saying, your morality and your personal philosophy is super important to you right now. Again, wherever the sun transits, that's the focus for that particular month, right? So right now we have Cancer, and Cancer happens to be aspecting your 9th house of just that, right? Of your moral code, your moral compass, your personal philosophy. So we have in the near future the Three of Wands. Three of Wands, really nice energy. It's one of the good fortune cards. This is about thriving business, really busy, intense period. This is for some of you, if you're in a space of maybe thinking about getting married, this is an indicator for a wedding or an important relationship. Moving on to realize your plans in some way. So if you, putting your energy out there for a business, for a new home, whatever, right? Moving on to realize your plans. But you might be dealing with something that's very unconventional. So it could either be an unconventional situation, depending on how this is manifesting for you, or unconventional people. So this could be you maybe meeting somebody and starting a relationship with somebody very different than anyone that you've ever gone for, or you ending up in some kind of very different situation. Just to give a mundane example, and then you could apply it however it would resonate with your life. But let's say you're somebody where you grew up in a house and you only have houses. Now you sold your house, you're going to live in an apartment. Maybe you're renting, or maybe you're just going to go get a condo on the beach somewhere, something like that. Something very unconventional. But there is this element of turning your back on the past, not in an unhealthy way, in a healthy way, right? Because this is a good fortune card. Just make sure you balance as you move forward. You're saying you're letting stuff go. You're letting stuff go, which I really like. I mean, I love that Gemini is in your house with the North Node in your house. So you're getting a nice little gift in that 8th house energy. So I feel like a lot of you are entering just a much better cycle, but it's going to be again, all the fixed signs, through the end of the year are going to be dealing with this T-square energy because you have to. Building blocks. Everything's happening for a reason. We have 6 Pentacles. It's final outcome. This is great. This has to do with property and family. This has to do with inheritance, generosity, support, things going your way though. So if you've been struggling financially, or if there's been any sort of like weird money thing going on, things are going to get better. This is money coming to you, or maybe to your partner, because again, we do have that Mercury and North Node in the 8th house, which would have to do with your partner's money. And the North Node always leaves a gift, right? Very nice here. Somebody from your past can be offering support right now, or you offering it to them, anything like that. So looks good. Lots of patience is necessary. 7 of Pentacles, Page of Cups. So some sort of new offers coming in. Then we have 4 of Wands. Nice energy for sure. That's a new partner coming in for some of you, being very expressive and open with their emotions. Okay, so some of you are going to be meeting somebody new. Others of you could be getting a new job. Very creative energy here as well. But it's a strong foundation energy. 6 of Cups, so some of you might be going back to either a person that you were once involved with, or a job that you were once involved with, or going back to an idea that you were once entertaining, but something like that. There is this resonating back with the past, nostalgia, harmony, the past coming back around. You know, being able to, some of you are going to be reconciling with somebody, if some of you are needing to reconcile a particular situation that happened in the past in a way where if you experience any sort of imbalance, or you suffered any kind of mistreatment in the past, things being remedied here. And I really like this, because with Chiron in the 6th, the 6th house really is your day-to-day experience. And because it sits on the same axis as your subconscious, there's just some really good healing here. I just feel like that. We have the Devil energy. Okay, you might be dealing with a Capricorn. 2 of Swords and the Hermit. So some of you, any of you who might be struggling with any kind of addiction, alcohol, drugs, shopping, sex, anxiety and depression, unchecked, untreated, anything like that. This is about recognizing where it might be getting in your way, or you recognizing where somebody in your world is struggling with something like that, where there is this sort of imbalance that they're experiencing in a way that's creating these shackles in the situation that you're involved with them, being able to fully manifest. But you being in this emotional stalemate, right, where you need to think about it, you need to make a decision, you want to protect yourself, you do, but you have to make a decision, right, because this has to do with your future. And then we have the Hermit. And I like this for this energy. It's a problem-solving energy because it's Virgo. But this can be, if you're single because something didn't work out up to this point because it wasn't meant for you. Others of you, if this has to do with work, some of you are going to be stepping back and analyzing what's not working. And you might feel like it's time to try a totally different approach or path. Totally different. And this is another mentor energy. So I feel like some of you are going to be meeting up with somebody who's going to be quite helpful to you. So that's what I have for the general Celtic cross spread. Now we're going to move forward to discussing our Scorpio friends who are single. Okay, I'll go with the singles first. So we have the 9 of Cups in the past. So there could have been a relationship that you were very happy in the past. Some of you may have recently met somebody in the past, somebody that you felt connected to, or this could also indicate some of you saying, I'm single and I'm loving it, leave me alone. I like to just come home from work, watch Netflix, I'm perfectly content. Perfectly content. But some of you right now might be in the space of like, yeah, that's not working out so well for me. And this is you taking a very healthy step back for perspective. This is an excellent energy for therapy. Those of you who are in therapy, awesome. doing shadow work, really great energy for that, just to figure out a better way forward in relationship. So this could be like working through, why have I allowed myself to be in A, B, and C kind of relationship? My goodness, why do I do that to myself? Really nice, strong energy there. But working through. I'm just getting just a lot of working through stuff here. And again, keep in mind, this is only for a week. This is for the 7th through the 15th, right? So then we have the card of anxiety, right? This is anxiety and overwhelm. You might be kind of depressed about relationship in general. This could be from somebody from the past, or just the fact that you're not meeting anybody and you're just not responding well to the external stress of something, because it's like you can't figure out how to fix something. So if, for example, like if you're just meeting one person after another, it's just like no one fits the bill, but you can't figure it out. You're going to be in the space where it's like, all right, I'm trying a different strategy, but it's not really working out for me. I'm just not meeting anybody. And this 5 of Wands energy can absolutely happen internally, Saturn and Leo, where you could just be arguing with yourself. This could be absolutely the case for sure. But the advice here is to look at that. To look at where do you feel like you're in conflict within yourself regarding relationship, looking at past conflicts in relationship, looking at these things, and then figuring out how to balance those out, how to balance out the conflict. So this is especially relevant for those of you who maybe you're single, you and somebody broke up, it was messy, it was what it was. Maybe you need to sit down and balance out that energy. Not saying to get back with them, not suggesting that, but it does seem like somebody wants to actually balance something out with you if this is showing up in your reading as an external person. As the energy surrounding you, this indicates to me that you need to kind of balance the energy within you out. Really look at where you might be entrenched in your ego, where you might be feeling super vulnerable, where you need your ego stroked a little bit. There's nothing wrong with admitting that. It's not in an egotistical way. But just recognizing where do you need to be made to feel a little better about things. So in your block, we have the Page of Coins. Page indicates a new cycle. Coins is mental, physical, emotional connection. And you being able to have success in that, in a new beginning, and that's your block. And we have the Lover's energy. And the Lover's energy is a final outcome. For those of you who are single, this is about loving yourself first in order to release any blocks so that you can manifest the right relationship when the time is right. So I feel like a lot of you are going to be in the space of doing some really good healing work right now. Like that. So we have the Magician, we have the King of Coins, 5 of Swords. Okay. Yeah. Okay, because I'm just trying to figure out like what is needing to be worked through. We have the Magician, which is all about Mercury, communication, being able to communicate in a way where things are clarified, things are rectified within a relationship in order to problem solve. So having that conversation and you realizing that someone is just a little too greedy with themselves. If they're not greedy with their money, they're greedy with how they're willing to show up in the relationship. And that brings you to a space of realizing that no matter what, you're not going to get what it is that you want. It's like there's this clash between what it is that you want and you wanted in the relationship, what you're looking for in a relationship, and the reality that you were living. And there was this tension and this ongoing conflict of that, but it wasn't coming from you, so you can't control it. You can only control yourself, right? So we have the Knight of Wands energy, clarifying that. Knight of Wands energy is about firing up your ambition and your passion and things speeding up. Now, for some of you, I feel like this is a very internal energy, what's going on here. Very interesting. Some of you might even be thinking about a past very serious relationship, if not a marriage. Only because Libra's transiting your 12th house, and Libra does rule the 7th house of marriage and deep soul contracts. So this is very interesting because I feel like you might have been in a situation where you wanted things to work, but somebody was just like not showing up the way that you really wanted them to. They were a little greedy, whatever it was, whether it was not with their money, maybe they just weren't able to give enough of themselves to you in order to make you happy. And you just felt like, I gotta go. I can't do this anymore, right? Things sped up. Decisions had to be made. And you made the decision to end something. But then you were confused. As is often the case, is it not? How stinky is that? I know, it's so annoying. So nice if we could just say, forget it, delete, whatever. But the Hangman is a very confusing energy. It's Neptune. It's very smoke and mirrors. You being in this space, I wonder if they still think about me. I wonder if they still, but if I go back to them, I'm going to end up having to sacrifice what it is that I want, need, and desire. I like the idea of the security, but I know I'm not going to end up happy, but maybe I could figure out a different way of being in that. But maybe not. That. And this is, thank goodness, you get the Ace of Swords here, because this is you getting over whatever obstacles you're dealing with, right? And you getting past it, and this is new. This is a new beginning. This is clear thinking in love. This is being very mentally agile and really mentally honest with yourself about what's necessary. So I do feel like you're doing a lot of really good work on yourself here, Scorpio. And again, this is just for this week. And let the healing continue, and let the relationships come when you feel a little more ready to, because it does seem like you're still working through something energetically, and that, always does serve as a block. All right, so let's move on to our Scorpio friends who are partnered. Okay, so starting off with the Queen of Wands. Very nice fiery energy. Beautiful. Scorpio and Sagittarius. It's you and Sag. So I feel like this was you being sort of very motivated in the relationship, right? Events speeding up. Wherever you guys were experiencing blocks in the relationship, things speeding up. Very talkative, very sort of like, all right, this is what we have to do, and this is what we have to do, and this is what we have to do. But right now, there's some sort of toxicity going on within your connection. The Six of Swords. There's the Mercury in Aquarius. So there's this moving on energy here. Can manifest more mentally than physically right now, but it is about detachment and time apart, at least taking a break from something, allowing some space to do some internal work. So this could be you from your partner, or you and your partner needing to do this from somebody else. But I see you exercising a significant amount of patience here. There's no question. Lots of energy being preserved here. You're not giving up on a situation, but there's something that is not, I'm not even going to say not healthy, that just doesn't feel right. Something's not feeling right. You may just be detaching from a particular situation that's going on in the relationship right now. But we have the advice energy here is the Tower in the reverse. So the Tower in the reverse really is about you finding yourself taking responsibility even when you're blameless, right? So it's looking at that. This can also indicate that you're holding on to something that at the end of the day isn't strong enough to stand the test of time. So if you've clung to the past to protect yourself from the reality of something, your fears can easily materialize here, because something ending, is inevitable, and you can't feel responsible for something. You can't take all of the slack for this. This is certainly not you, particularly if something that's going on is outside of your control, right? Something that's going on outside of your control. And we have the Ace of Cups in the reverse. This is feeling let down, feeling depressed, feeling disappointed in a particular situation. And your block is the Temperance reverse, which means that there's imbalance and some sort of lack of cooperation, some sort of unfairness going on at home or regarding finances or something within your relationship. And you might feel like you're putting a lot of effort and a lot of work into something, and it's just not working. At the same time, you might also be feeling challenged by something that needs to change, right? Like the stress of a past situation that's currently impacting your life. It could be just impacting your life. Doesn't have to have anything to do with the relationship. Maybe it's something that went on with friends, family, something like that, but it is deeply impacting. It's like difficult memories of the past of making you feel very stuck in something and making you feel held back in your ability to really move forward. But this is a very, very psychological card. It's very psychological, but we do have the energy of anxiety and overwhelm and worry and depression and just feeling challenged in how to actually deal with something on the other side of it. I'm almost getting this feeling like it's something bigger than you. Something's going on that's like you can't control it. You just can't. It's almost like you could just sit there and just watch something happen, because it's the cycle of something that's going on. Your eyes are wide open, but it's almost like somebody else doesn't see the full reality of something. We have the Two of Swords, the Ten of Wands in the reverse, better than in the upright, the Hermit, the Emperor, reverse, King, Nine of Wands. In reverse. Not feeling very supported here. So we have the Two of Swords, emotional stalemate, needing to make a decision about moving forward, having to do with something, and then we have that being clarified by the Ten of Wands in the reverse, which is about finally saying no to something. I'm not doing this anymore. Taking a break, lightening it up. Nope, nope, nope. Some of you might be like, all right, I have to go be by myself for a little while, right? It's the Hermit energy, is Virgo. I have to go to the top of the mountain and try to figure this problem out. But it's about really recognizing, first of all, that you guys might be, I just feel like you might be going through something really big in your life, like outside your relationship. And you guys need to invest more energy and time to smooth over whatever issue is rearing its head that needs addressing in the relationship. But it might be because you guys are going through so much stuff around this. It feels like you guys are dealing with some sort of narcissist. So if your partner's not a narcissist, there's some sort of narcissist that's impacting your relationship. Love the Emperor in the upright. In the reverse, not so much. This is like a power-hungry, money-hungry, narcissistic tendencies, domineering, will say anything, do anything to get their way, boundary crossing, that kind of stuff. Clarifying that, we have the Knight of Cups energy in the reverse. This is somebody who's moody, who has some sort, they can have a very hard time regulating their personality. Somebody who has very unrealistic expectations as well. Clarifying that, it's all because they're very scared for their security and their safety, right? This is a very self-protective energy. So it could have to do with connection, or it could have to do literally with money, or a little bit of both. But I feel like this is some sort of situation that needs to be dealt with. This is like a messy energy here. Somebody who's reacting in a very unhealthy way because they're feeling that their security is threatened. So this could be you, this could be an energy that you're dealing with. But it's like, I just feel bad for this person. Only because I have a very like feet off the ground, sort of not grounded, scared kind of thing. Then we have the Nine of Cups though, and now it's time to really figure out how to make this work for you, right? Happiness, wishes, manifesting, right? Time for growth, time for good things. Jupiter brings blessings, right? So it's this energy where it's like everything that's happening here, part of the stepping stone, there's going to be something good on the other side of it. You know that, you're very focused on it, but you're needing to figure out a different way forward. So we have the Judgment energy here in reverse. You feel stuck in the past, or refuse to learn the lesson that's there for you. So you might find yourself stuck in old patterns that you're not really ready to break free from yet. And because of that, delays are indicated here. You might even feel kind of trapped and not able to move forward without understanding why. Like this thing that's just always sort of bothering you. So the best thing to do here is just accept whatever happened. Doesn't mean you have to like it. Doesn't mean you have to forgive, whatever. It doesn't mean that, right? Or forget, rather. Forgiveness is always a good thing. But, you know, look at yourself from a very compassionate place and understand that whatever your role was in whatever situation, you did the best you knew how in the moment. It doesn't have to dictate your future. You can decide to be free of the situation if you want. Clarifying that is the Three of Cups in the reverse. There's a lot of gossip going around and there's no support. There's a lot of like toxic energy going on for those of you who are coupled. My goodness. I feel like other people are involved in this. Why am I feeling that way? It's interesting. Maybe your partner's children, their family, in-laws, friends, something like that. All right, my friends, let's go to our complicated. So, the Hangman, Neptune. You might be in this space right now where you're waiting to see how this person feels about you. Do they feel the same? Do they have the same intention? Are they willing to commit, or are they waiting for you to commit? It kind of is the sort of Neptune, the Hangman energy is sort of like, all right, if I hang out and wait for this, because there is a hanging out, there's a pause button right away, right? This is from the past. Pause button was pressed. If I continue in this, I'm going to end up sacrificing what I really want. I'm not sure if they would be willing to do this for me, and if I really feel like this relationship, in the end would be able to make me happy. If I have to sacrifice what really matters to me in order to make it work, right? That is kind of that Hangman energy. And just trying to be very wise about it, very trying to see through the confusion, With the situation right now we have is the Four of Pentacles. So this is about security and self-protection, and maybe even doing a little work on yourself right now. But this is you really wanting to protect yourself. Now, this could be having to do with your finances, but it could also have to do with just protecting your heart. So you might be back on your heels a little bit because of some sort of situation that's going on here. We have the Knight of Pentacles as the future energy. So the Knight of Pentacles it's a nice energy. I want to be very specific with how I reference this. The Knight of Pentacles is a nice, very loyal, very dependable. They have a lot to offer. But I always say with this energy, it's like you may feel like something's missing. Either you feel like you guys don't have enough in common. Maybe you view them as maybe a little boring. I know that sounds harsh. Maybe they're not very strong communicators. Maybe they're not very passionate. Passion matters a lot to you, Scorpio. It's something, you feel like this sense of lack, right? But depending on what you're looking for, this person can be amazing. But they might lack that thing that might get in the way of, and you know this intuitively, where it might get in the way of you being happy in the long term in a really satisfying way. But it depends on where you're at. If you've been through the ringer with like the bad boys, the crazy girls, the all of the things that we can easily be attracted to, but that are no good for us. If you've been down that road and back again, and you've learned the lessons, maybe you're like, you know what, I'll take boring, thank you. A lot of people, can't say I blame you. Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands, and this is the advice energy, something to look at. The Eight of Wands in the reverse. So the Eight of Wands in reverse is about frustrations and delays. And why would something be in delay? Why, if you guys are in a complicated situation, some of you are maybe in separation. I'm going to pull some separation cards. But what is the situation with that delay? Right? I mean, that needs to be looked at, right? Always whenever we get the wands reversed, there needs to be something looked at a lot more closely. Because once the wands go upright, it's like quick communication. Come on, let's go, let's do this. It's like, hold on. What is the deal with the delay? Now, the external energy from you is the Devil. So it does seem like the delay is the need to sit and look at whatever is shackling the situation. Is it someone's addiction, yours or theirs? Is it somebody's anxiety, depression, unchecked, untreated, narcissistic tendencies? Is there cheating going on? What's happening here that's getting in the way of the relationship? Because you can't just sort of jump back on the horse, back into the relationship here. That's simply like really kind of not even like a possibility. Like, where is the imbalance here, right? Now, in your block is the Death card, and the Death is what is happening here, this challenge, right? For some of you, you're on a break. For others of you, the relationship actually ended, but you're still in each other's energy. So, you know, you're considering it more of a complication. But whatever happened here was very necessary if you guys are ever going to find your footing again in the future, right? But whatever's been going on up to this point, not healthy, not healthy. So if, again, it may need to move into that next space, but that's the very thing that you're afraid of. It's like your block is the fact that you're experiencing this ending, and you could easily be losing faith in its ability to ever get back on its feet. You know, now some of you may be struggling with where you live. I know this seems sort of random, but your block might be your living circumstances, right? Some of you may have needed to move, or you know, somebody offered you to move. Maybe you were offered a job or something to a place to have a new beginning, but it's a far away from the person that you were in a relationship with, and it ended up creating a lot of issues. So that could certainly serve as the block as well. And then we have the Nine of Swords, you know, anxiety, overwhelm. Keep getting this for our Scorpio friends and all the different readings. Just not responding well to the external stress of the situation, and just not being clear where everything stands right now. Okay, so we have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, the Eight of Pentacles is it's very much a work energy. Very logical and diligent approach to work, to relationship, focusing on responsibilities. We have the World card. World card is about learning the lesson. Love the World card. It's the best card in the deck. About happiness and fulfillment when it comes to relationship. Then we have the High Priestess. Okay, in the reverse, temporarily being on the wrong path, doing the wrong thing, listening to the wrong people. Not good. Right? This is somebody going against their better judgment, their better intuition. This could also manifest as a secret that really needs to come out into the light. So it's like with the World card, I learned my lesson. I have to sit and tell you the truth kind of thing. And the Temperance is about imbalance, and there being this like unfair situation, either having to do with money, having to do with anything actually having to do with home, anything in the relationship, anything like that. And you feeling like you're putting a lot of work into something and it's just not working. Gosh, this came up before as well in a different deck. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, there's just this this lack of balance is pushing you into starting a new cycle in your life, because you are recognizing that you feel a sense of lack. There's a lot of fear having to do with you having a strong foundation. Those fears could have to do with feeling connected versus not connected in relationship, or having to do with money. Just this idea of losing your security, not feeling very secure in the relationship, right? And when we get the wheel reverse is you might be not only experiencing some bad luck, but this just might be a very challenging time period, and we know that, right? Because you're fixed energy anyway. But you'll experience closure in some way. But you might be, I don't know, experiencing sort of like a lack of confidence in your own intuition and your ability to think things through and make decisions. Don't be too hard on yourself, because this is a very overwhelming energy for sure. Overwhelm, responsibilities, burden. But the 10 means you're putting it down, you're ending something. You're ending something that just has been too, I feel like there's a lot of back and forth here, but it's been very emotional for you and very draining, very, very draining. So we'll see what next week brings, but that's what I have this week, guys. Please, take it with a grain of salt and understand that, as a fixed sign, Challenges are just part of the building blocks of getting you to where you're meant to be. I know you don't want to hear that, but that is the truth. All right, my friends, you guys have a great week. Take care now. Bye-bye.